everyone, welcome back to Poppin' In with Alexa and Molly. I'm Alexa.
I'm Molly.
And you're hearing that right. It's our second episode in 1 week because we're dedicated to you as the listeners, our fans, and our friends.
Yes. And you know what? We saved it for the pod.
We did. And that's going to be the theme of our first topic. Because we've got a little horror pod to talk about, and it's not this one.
And it was
it wasn't us.
But it was a horror movie for the first time about our lives.
That's true, yeah.
So last week we saw the movie Undertone, which is a new horror movie.
Which, okay, I forgot to tell you this the whole time that we were talking about going to see this movie. I thought that lead actress was Kaylee Spaney.
Really?
When we saw the trailer and everything, and then I was like, a horror movie with Kaylee Spaney? I was like, absolutely.
So I did not think that. She doesn't, to me, look anything like Kaylee Spaney, but
yeah.
She did look, however, very familiar the entire time.
And I looked it up. Oh, she's in Handmaid's Tale. And
right, but I don't watch that, so I must know her from something else.
I know, because I texted you after the movie and I said, oh, she's in Handmaid's Tale. And all you said was, I don't watch that.
Yeah, I know. I didn't like...
I think I actually just didn't reply because I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't have anything to add to it. But, okay, so last week we saw the movie Undertone, and we're going to get into some spoilers while we're talking about this. So if you haven't seen this movie, feel free to skip ahead.
Yeah.
We post the timestamps in the episode description and on our Instagram. Follow us at Poppin' In Podcast. But so Undertone is written and directed by, I'm not going to say his last name right probably, but Ian Toussaint.
Okay.
But it's actually his directorial debut.
Oh.
And it stars, and really primarily only stars, it's like a one-woman show, Nina Kiri as Evie, a woman who hosts a paranormal podcast with her friend Justin, played by Adam DeMarco, which I just texted you a little bit before this, and I was like, did you know that the guy that played her friend is the guy from The White Lotus, the second season?
So he plays the Italian young...
Well, he's not Italian. Well, maybe they're... But it's when they're in Italy, and it's...
it's like the grandpa, the dad, and the son.
And the son.
Yeah.
He's really cute.
Yeah, well, because when we were watching the movie, I was like, honestly...
His voice was cute. Yeah, and I was kind of thinking... So, like, I remember there was a movie sidebar, but there was a movie I saw a while ago called it came out like probably like 10 years ago, but it was called Cloverfield Lane or something that. And there's a scene where like her boyfriend, she's on the phone with her boyfriend in the very beginning, and it's Bradley Cooper is randomly the voice of her boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And he's only in like the one scene, but it's him. And I was like, I wonder if they like the whole time I was like, I could see this being somebody we know, and I just anyway.
Well, it's like Robert Pattinson was the announcer in Marty Supreme.
Yeah, how crazy!
How crazy! I love when they do those little. I feel like it's just for us, like also, for the ones who are going to be looking these things up. You know,
exactly. Also, like the easiest job. I feel to be like not the easiest, but voice acting.
I would love to be a voice actor. Unfortunately, I just have this one sound. And that's all I've got, but
I tell Matthew all the time he should be a voice actor because he's got a million voices.
Man of a million voices.
And so, anyway, so like we were saying, this is just mostly about Evie. There's only her and one other person on screen the whole time. But basically, so they host a podcast together, this paranormal podcast. And after Evie moves back home to be a caregiver to her dying mother, she and Justin are sent these mysterious recordings of a married couple who are experiencing like paranormal noises in their home, which causes Evie to become paranoid and things spiral.
Yeah.
So it's kind of the basic plot. But what's interesting about this movie is, like I said, there's only two on-screen people. So it's just Evie and her mother, who is like dying. She's kind of like in hospice care. So she doesn't talk the whole time. And everyone else is just voices. Mm-hmm. And so it's really just Evie, which just like adds to the creepiness level of the movie, which I like loved. But I think this movie immediately grabbed us because first of all, it's A24.
Yeah.
Check. And check. Yeah, it's an indie movie. Check. But also the trailer was so creepy and they didn't show anything.
Yeah.
It's like, and Matthew actually thought it was like based on a horror analog video because the trailer was like so vague. It's like horror analog thing that he likes. And so, but we saw it in Dolby at AMC, which was kind of perfect because this movie really relies on sound.
And it was, I will say, like the trailers beforehand, I was like, God, I felt so old. I was like, these are loud.
They're so loud.
Yeah. But the movie wasn't.
The thing is, the movie's not loud. And I know that I just said that it's like really it relies on sound, but it's a very quiet movie.
Yeah, and I love, like, they do this thing where it's like when she is recording the podcast, she goes and she puts her headphones on, and like there's a huge sound difference when she's like listening to these people, like the kind of creepy recording she's listening to versus when she takes it off and it's like you can hear the clock ticking and stuff again. And they do that really well, and in the Dolby Theater, I think it was just like it really made you feel that sound difference.
Yeah. And that's kind of, and it really adds, I was going to say, yeah, when she puts on the headphones, it's like you're sort of trapped in there with her. So you feel, it's like this kind of almost like claustrophobic feeling because you can't like escape what you're hearing the same thing that she's hearing. And I thought that was really well done. But the whole movie is like a pretty relatively slow burn. And it, you know, like I said, it really relies on sound and really just tension building more than like scary effects or cheap jump scares, which, you know, I hate jump scares and like I hate cheap jump scares in movies. Like,
and they've been doing this. This is, I think, not a new thing in horror, but I've been noticing it a lot more where they do more tension building and there's not as many jump scares, which I think is better because when there actually is a scare, it gets you more because you're not expecting it as much.
Exactly. And I feel like some of the ways they do that they just like build the tension is like it'll just be like the camera slowly moving, like while she's doing the podcast, she's sitting here doing the podcast, she like the camera slowly moving away from her and into another room, and they don't even show anything, like nothing's happening, but it's so scary. And somehow
she's always recording at like 3 a.m. or something because her co-host lives in London, so there's a time difference, so it's like dark, and she's also in like her mom's home, which is, you know,
the creepiest house.
It has a bunch of stuff though, so in the background you're like seeing, it's not like shadows moving, but, you know, it's kind of like when you like wake up in the middle of the night and you're like, is that a person? And it's like actually just like a coat rack or whatever.
Yes. And again, she has her headphones in.
Yeah.
So it's like you're literally like you can see what she can't because you could see like behind her while she just has her headphones and you can only hear what she's hearing.
Yeah.
And the thing about this that I loved is that the tension literally never leaves the movie. Like, because, okay, so you know how you're watching a horror movie and you're like, you know, all the scariest parts are like during the like dark, like during nighttime. But then it's like once the it cuts to like daytime or the morning, you can like unclench and like relax. That is like not like the case with this movie. Like I never felt this way. My fingers literally never left my ears. Like I was sitting there like this like the whole time.
And Chris makes me so mad when we like watch horror movies in theaters. So I'll be like plugging my ears and he'll like one makes fun of me and then he tries to like pull, like he's like pulling my arm. He's like, take your fingers out of your ear. And I'm like,
no.
I'll still be afraid. I just need to block a little bit of the sound.
I need to block a little bit because it helps with the jump scares. I don't get quite as scared. There were times where there was something like scary or loud that I didn't freak out at as much as everyone else did because I had my little ears closed.
And you know what? That was one of the first times where I was like, we were made to be friends, because I remember like we were going through a haunted house or something and I plugged my ears and I was like, I looked at you and you had your ears plugged and I was like, okay, these are some kindred spirits right here.
The only problem is if it was ever the two of us and like if we were hosting a paranormal podcast and the same thing was happening to us, we would be so screwed because we'd both have our ears plugged and no one would know what's happening.
We wouldn't be doing what they were doing, okay, so as podcasters, as you know, we are podcasters. Yes. It's about a podcast. I do have some feedback for them on how they go about their business.
I do too. First of all, the chairs on her end.
Oh,
she
yeah.
Sat at, which I know we're filming at my house, so we don't have the normal recording setup, but I'm like, girl, you've got to get a better chair.
Yes, but I guess it doesn't matter because my big gripe is they record for like 5 minutes at a time.
Yes, I was going to say, they are not dedicated like us.
Yeah, exactly. They're not certified yappers, I think. Like, they are like, we're listening to this audio clip. Then they're
like, good enough.
Yeah.
See you next week.
Yeah, they're like, I can't do Thursday, so let's pick this back up on Friday or whatever. And I'm like, when are you editing?
We have full-time jobs too, and we still record every week.
Exactly.
And yeah, I did think that was funny because they would literally record for like 5 minutes and then be like,
I think I need a break
next week. Yeah, I need a break.
And I'm like,
were they recording separate episodes or just?
At first, it was going to be one episode, and then before they got, so it's like multiple audio clips that they've had anonymously emailed to them. Before they got to the last one, they were like, actually, she was like, I have to stop for now, so let's just split it into 2 episodes. We'll do the last episode on, or the last
They
clip.
recorded, at least for us, it looked like to the audience, it looked like they recorded for 5 minutes.
Yes. And maybe it's like, I guess because it's a movie, so you can't just really have someone sit there like recording a podcast the whole time. It would get boring. But I was just like, this is a little unbelievable in terms of a production schedule.
No, I know. And so you're kind of listening along with them as they get sent these like audio recordings from that mysterious couple.
Yeah.
And like they're listening, so because they're splitting it up, they keep listening to like recording 1, like recording 2, and like, and like that kind of adds to like the tension building, because it's like you're obviously like, okay, please don't listen to all 10. Right. Please don't listen to audio clip 10. Like nothing good is going to come of it. But it was really creepy because the whole thing is like there's like a lot of like children's song, like
Baba, Black Sheep, and stuff.
or like London Bridge or whatever. But it's like and I've always heard this, like if it's sung backwards, it's like there's demonic like words or whatever. But there's also a lot of like religious imagery in this movie. So like her mom is super religious, so you see like ceramic statues and crosses and things like that. And of course, we can't escape pregnancy, the pregnancy horror.
This does end up being a pregnancy horror, spoiler.
Yeah. Because Evie finds out she's pregnant and she decides to like maybe terminate the pregnancy. So you hear baby noises throughout, and then of course her mom, the religious aspect of it, and
my whole thing is like, as they're going through these tapes, they find out that it's about some demonic possession. The name of the demon, Abizu, whatever. That the name of demons always piss me off, because I'm just like, I'm like I'm not afraid of Abizu. But anyways, but like the whole time it's like about. It's a demon that like is obsessed with pregnant women and like taking babies or whatever. And at no point does she say like, hey, I think his name's Justin.
Yeah, I don't know if this is relevant.
Yeah, but I'm pregnant.
Yeah, like, we don't have to keep this in the podcast, but like we can cut this.
Yeah, because I'm like, I think maybe if that were my friend, I'd be like, well, maybe we shouldn't be doing an episode about like even if you're a skeptic, I'm like, maybe we just shouldn't.
Say, the whole thing is like she's the skeptic to like his believer. So I think that was some of it too. But she was skeptic in that like annoying way where you're like, girl.
Well, and also they kept having to do this thing where they would be like recording and then they'd be like just talking about something and they'd be like, okay, like let's get back into character. And it made me, I was like, I need to make a point on this podcast to say, just know the characters that you are getting are the characters we are.
I know. What do you mean? Well, okay, there's a difference. So I notice this a lot when I listen to like certain crime podcasts or certain like murder podcasts or whatever, where it's like, sometimes it is just 2 people chatting and having, relaying a story, but like having like a conversation. But then other times it's almost like they recorded and like it's like very edited.
Yeah.
And so I think like in their podcast was similar to that, where it's like it was like a character.
Yeah.
And they're supposed to be sort of like sounding creepy and like scaring everyone rather than 2 friends chatting. So we don't have characters here.
Yeah.
What you hear is what you get.
Exactly.
But I thought it was interesting. So the writer and the director, like he's the writer and director, Ian
Tucson.
What was it? Tucson. Yeah.
A Hyundai Tucson.
He said that he plans to make this into a trilogy.
What?
Which I don't know how I feel about that. I don't think I want that unless he plans to make it like unique. But
I wonder if each movie will be something with the senses.
Yeah.
There was like a period of time a few years ago where we were really big into like sensory horror
right,
films.
like there's
Bird Box, Quiet Place,
the Speak one or what was it called where she couldn't, what was it? It was, there was one where she was deaf.
Yeah, yes.
Yeah, there was a huge senses. Maybe this will be like the next one. It's not a podcast, but it's like a vloggers.
Yeah.
Because
that's also another thing I was going to say. I was like, these people are kind of crazy because they don't go on Zoom or anything. They're not seeing each other when they're recording. I was like, what kind of vibes are you guys? And they're like old friends or something. I'm like,
it was just audio.
Yeah, I was like, you could just at least pull up a Zoom. Like,
maybe they only hired Adam DeMarco they were like,
yeah.
He was like, sorry, my contract says only my voice.
True.
But I think, I'm pretty sure I read that. Maybe don't quote me on that. Maybe I hallucinated that he said there was going to be a trilogy. I need to fact check that. But
interesting.
I'm pretty sure that I had read that. But it's just, one thing I'll say is I do recommend this movie.
Yeah.
But not if you're looking for like if you're into movies that are super gory or just super, like we said, big jump scares, like scary images. That's not this movie.
Yeah.
And this movie is like completely relying on sound design and like tension building. It's a slow burn, and I really don't know if it ever burns.
Yeah.
I mean, it does end on like kind of a cliffhanger, which makes sense why there would be a trilogy. But
you don't see any gore. You don't see anything like that. It's all about like the psychological fear in sound, I think.
Yeah. And it spirals towards the end of the movie, like in the last 20 minutes, it kind of all gets crazy. But even then, I didn't think it was like truly crazy. So I feel like I've heard some people didn't like the ending and kind of walked out of the movie being like, what? Like, but I actually really liked it.
Yeah, I don't know how else it could have ended.
But I think it's for, like, maybe those people who felt that way aren't into this kind of horror movie.
Yeah.
Like, they were expecting more. And I'm telling you, like, this is the kind of scary I like, though. Yeah. Because I was terrified that whole movie.
It was giving, like, Blair Witch kind of a little bit, and also Paranormal Activity.
Yeah.
Except I think in Paranormal Activity you see a little more action. Mm-hmm. Like, the whole thing with, like, the demon, I think, is it's like, oh, the sink is dripping or whatever. Whereas Paranormal Activity is like, people are getting yanked down hallways. Yes. So, but that's why I'm like, it's more like Blair Witch, where it's like, oh, you wake up and it's like, there's a bunch of sticks here.
Yeah.
In a weird formation.
The pacing, I would say, is similar. Right. But I will say the couple that's like talking to them, they felt like they reminded me of like the Paranormal Activity couple. But I really liked it. I recommend it. Again, may not be for everybody.
Yeah. I'd be curious if someone watches it at home with their home speakers, if it's as good. Because that's I have a big gripe lately with the film and television community is that they are not doing film editing or like sound editing for TV. No. So like whenever I'm watching something, the music will be so loud. So then I have to turn it. Scenes. Yes. Then I have to turn it down, and then they're talking, and I'm like, well, now I don't know what they're saying.
I know, it's so annoying.
That's why when I was watching 28 Days Later, and Chris came out and he was like, why is the sound on 72? And I was like, I don't know what these British people are doing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly a zombie comes out and our speakers break, I'm like,
I don't know. Did Sinners win an Oscar for sound mixing or anything?
I think so.
Did they? Because I gotta say,
I watched that at home. It was good.
I had an issue where there's one scene that gets so loud and you're like, oh my God. I actually remember exactly which scene it is, but it gets so loud and it's like, mix this better.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that I could do a better job, but
I don't know. If you had the proper training, who knows?
You know who had better training than these guys at podcasting? Us.
Yes. Our training is, we're on the ground journalists. We got some mics. We Googled some stuff.
Yeah.
And we said, hello, here we are, world.
And the best part, we're not haunted. And I think
that is my
gives
dream.
Us a one-up.
I mentioned this.
But I don't want...
Not us together.
Lovingly and respectfully, I don't want any part of a podcast with you if you do end up getting haunted.
You would stop being my friend if I got haunted?
I wouldn't stop being your friend. I wouldn't do a podcast with you anymore. I would take a break.
Interesting. Okay.
I don't want to be part of that.
You like post on the Instagram. It's like
being part of it.
Oh, Alexa is getting exercised today, so we're taking a little break. Sorry, guys.
See you next Monday. Maybe she might be dead though.
Yeah, we'll let you know.
I'll post on I'll post in our Instagram stories.
Follow us. But yeah, I liked it. I thought it was unique. I thought it was fun.
I love a good unique horror movie.
I also enjoy horror movies in theaters.
With friends, with people. That's the best kind of experience.
Not with teenagers.
No.
I hate that. That is the worst experience, actually.
That is the worst.
Speaking of teenagers, there's been some Euphoria drama.
Yeah.
That was a good transition.
There has been. Yeah, that was a good transition.
Thank you. I've been practicing my transitions.
Yeah, I forgot they were teenagers. They're not teenagers anymore, I don't think, for season 3.
Honestly, they weren't really teenagers in the beginning.
No.
They were I think
in the show they're legit. It sounds like they're all like OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Like they all have like OnlyFans, or they're all like,
really?
Yeah.
I haven't looked up that much about the new season because I honestly have just been like, I'll watch it, but
I'll watch it too.
Begrudgingly.
I just keep seeing things about it and against my will, but I keep seeing it. It'll be like
against my will.
Yeah, it'll be like Maddie has an OnlyFans. Cassie, like I don't know. It's
Cassie.
I think so.
Oh wait, I'm thinking of who does Maude Apatow play?
What's her name? What is her name?
I don't know, but imagine if her character has an OnlyFans.
No, but Cassie's her sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Plus, what's her face had an OnlyFans in the like first or second season. Barbie.
Yeah, it wasn't like it's not called OnlyFans, but yeah,
she's like an e-girl, like a cam girl. Yeah. Well, anyway, so the new drama was season 3, which is like literally once a month. But
more drama than the show.
But Labyrinth, who does the music for Euphoria, who actually, in my opinion, is partly what makes Euphoria what it is.
Yeah.
Genuinely. Because
it's a music video, the whole show.
And but the music is so iconic. Like when you just think about it.
I was listening to a song from it literally today with my windows down on the first day of spring.
Hell yeah. First day of spring.
Yeah.
Spring has sprung.
What a euphoric moment.
Oh.
There we go.
Well, not for Labyrinth.
Yeah.
But he posted on Instagram, he said, "I'm done with this industry. Fuck Columbia. Double fuck Euphoria. I'm out. Thank you and good night." Columbia as in Columbia Records, which is his label. But yeah, he never said what it was, but I think people can come to the conclusion that Euphoria set is messy.
And that's why I was shocked when all the actors, except for Barbie Ferreira, returned.
No,
they were
same.
like, oh yeah, like I'm down to return to reprise my role or whatever. And I was like,
well, do you think they're under contract maybe?
They can't be for that long. There's no way.
But I just wonder, like, I am absolutely shocked that, like, Sydney Sweeney, Zendaya, Sydney Sweeney, and Jacob Elordi are all coming back.
Yeah.
That's crazy to me.
Yeah. I wonder if Alexa Demi? Is her name Alexa?
Alexa, yeah.
Why don't I know that?
The fact that
I want to see her do more things.
I do too. I think she could have the career that Sydney Sweeney has.
Yeah.
She's good.
She is.
But I've only seen her in one thing, so I really don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, if they don't have the music person, but I mean, I feel like they must have already done all the music for the season by now. It's coming out in May?
Well, it might be like post-production, but although you're right, May. I was like,
yeah, like it's such a integral part of the show. I'm like, you gotta bring that Labyrinth back.
I mean, it might be part of it already. He might have just been saying in general, like, fuck Euphoria, which then I had seen that apparently the nail artist commented on his Instagram post saying something shady about, like, or not shady, but just saying, like, that they had a bad experience.
And you know that nail artist is putting in work. You've seen the nails on that show.
Oh, yeah. It's just crazy. I just can't, like, I really just wonder, like, how can one set be so bad?
I think it's because of what's his name, the creator? He sounds like...
No. Sam Levinson.
Yeah. It sounds like, and this is allegedly, I don't know him personally, obviously, but he just sounds not great to work with if you're not an actor. Like, I think he's maybe one of those people that's, like, really great to actors, and then every other creative role is, like, maybe really difficult.
Because I was going to say, well, Zendaya, but I mean, I think her issue with him had to do with, like, the producer side.
Oh, what issue did she have?
We talked about on the podcast.
Girl, we talk about a lot of things.
I think they had some creative differences.
I love creative differences. Capital C, capital D.
But Sam Levinson is a Nepo baby.
Oh, who are his parents?
Barry Levinson is his daddy. Did like Good Morning Vietnam.
Oh.
Rain Man.
Okay.
So I think, like, just classic Nepo baby who isn't actually maybe good.
Yeah.
I do think Euphoria,
because the other show,
like, kind of,
I haven't seen him. His, like, the other show he did was that The Idol?
Mm-hmm.
And, like, horrible.
It was horrible.
And also because his, like, producing partner, the person he made the show with, passed away recently, but they had a falling out.
Right.
Recently. It was like a year or two ago now, I think. But, like, they had a falling out before that, like, right before that happened. And a lot of people were saying, like, without that partnership, I think it's kind of rough on him.
Okay, this is a random thing, but I was just looking at his personal life section of his Wikipedia page, and he used to date Ellen Barkin, who, like, I mean, no shade, but that's a pretty big age gap.
Who's Ellen Barkin?
She's an actress. She's a really good actress, but she's 71 and he's 41. So
oh, wow.
Big age difference, yeah.
You know what? Props to him. He's pulling a reverse Leo.
Yeah.
Which I saw. I didn't know that Leonardo DiCaprio and Jennifer Lawrence are doing a scary movie together.
Yeah.
And I will be watching it.
It's based on a psychological horror book.
Okay, maybe I'll read it.
I was reading the plot. It sounds very interesting.
Yeah.
It takes place in Europe, and they go to this like hotel. Like it sounds really creepy.
That's all I need to know, actually.
It's a Martin Scorsese movie too. Yeah.
Oh, we will be steeped.
Oh, I know, and I'm sure like Oscar, like yes, like.
How is this the first I've heard of it? Interesting.
They talked about it when they did their like, I watch all those like actors on actors videos, and they interviewed each other. It was very. They didn't really have a ton of chemistry. I didn't like their vibes together, but they did talk about they were doing that movie together, and that's why he had the mustache. So.
Oh, okay. That's why he took Pedro's mustache.
Yeah. Who do you think gave me the mustache?
Yeah.
So I'm very excited. I did see the like picture from that, and I was pretty excited about that.
Very exciting. But yeah, I mean, again, I'll be watching season 3 of Euphoria. Come back and hear what our takes on it.
I think here's the thing. I will be watching, but like you said, begrudgingly. I'm excited for like the Sunday night the Euphoria Sunday night.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot it's week-to-week drops. That's been really getting me lately, like with The Pit, and I've been watching Love Story, and I'm always like, oh, I like sit down, I'm ready to have a good night and watch my show, and I'm like, oh, that's right, it's not out.
Yeah, that is frustrating.
Oh.
I know. That's why you got to get into a show that's been out for a few years, and they have like 3 seasons, and it's like, it's a good feeling. It's really fun feeling.
But then I get too into it, like I burn myself out on the show. Like that's what that time that I watched 5 hours of Lost on a Friday night, and then I never watched it again.
That's crazy.
And I was on like season 4.
You were starting to get towards a not great
That's
time.
also where I dropped off when I was 9. So
I don't really like that you do that, because I know you did that with Game of Thrones too, and I don't totally appreciate that.
Okay,
I need you to change that.
I'll come back to it probably.
Please.
I was better about it during the pandemic when I didn't have any other distractions or a life.
I think it bothers me because it's not very you. Like you seem like somebody who like really finishes a show.
Yeah, it is. It's just like if there's multiple seasons, I think it's the ADD in me really rears its ugly head.
Fix that. I'm just kidding.
And get some meds for that.
Yeah.
But anyways, so another show that just had 1 season.
Yeah, so I just watched The Beauty.
Yeah. She didn't watch Our Reflections, the show.
No, The Beauty just ended. Season 1 just ended.
Okay, so there will be a season 2?
There will be.
Okay.
Well, that it should be at least. It's definitely not just a 1 season thing. Yeah, wasn't supposed to be at least.
Ryan Murphy's would you call it a filmography with like shows? But it's so crazy because it's like he has The Beauty, which people have really been liking. All's Fair got picked up, but it was like the worst rated show ever. And then Love Story is out right now, and it was the most watched show on Hulu of all time.
It's so funny because Love Story just seems so different, and I think it has to do with probably who is writing it,
Yeah.
But I think like shows are sometimes so different from each other. Like there's certain shows, like when I watched The Beauty, I was like, this is a Ryan Murphy show. Like no doubt about it, through and through, this is a Ryan Murphy show. But like something like Love Story, or even like American Crime Story is a little different, And so I think it's just interesting. His work, his projects, and we've talked about this before, but man, he has ADHD too, because in terms of projects, because
interests,
he just bounces back and forth.
But the thing is, whenever he is announcing a new show, I'm like, that seems like something he would be interested in. Like even with Love Story, I was like, that tracks for him.
Yeah, people were mad about it.
Yeah.
So, if people who are related to the family or just people who are affected by the storyline are mad at him, it's a Ryan Murphy show.
Absolutely. Now I have a question for you before you get into it. So sometimes like Ryan Murphy, and he's admitted this about himself, he's like really good in the beginning and then it kind of like he has a hard time keeping the momentum. Do you think throughout, beginning to end, momentum was maintained?
Of The Beauty?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's get into it. Give me the good, bad, and the ugly.
And the beauty.
Yeah, and the beauty.
So The Beauty is a body horror show, again, created by Ryan Murphy. And it's actually, I didn't know this until after watching the show, but it's based on a comic book called The Beauty that was written by Jeremy Hahn and Jason A. Hurley. So it stars Evan Peters. Just had to get that out there.
Yeah.
Rebecca Hall, Anthony Ramos, Jeremy Pope, and Ashton Kutcher.
Okay.
And the plot is Ashton Kutcher's character creates this drug known as the Beauty, which gives its users physical attractiveness through physical and genetic alteration. So basically the drug was designed to be administered via injection, but at the start of the series, like, we learned that a sexually transmitted variant of the drug has escaped the lab and is ripping through society. So, and the sexually transmitted strain of the drug is more like unstable, and it's more prone to like extreme mutations, and it turns into craziness. And so the people that are behind the drug are trying to like cover it up, but it ends up, spreading and has really terrible effects and side effects.
I just have to share, while you were explaining that, Molly's dog Matilda was like looking into my eyes. Aww. And I was like, wow, this is a beauty.
She is a beauty.
She's got great eyelashes.
She's one of the most beautiful dogs. She has amazing eyelashes. I don't know if she started doing like extensions or something, but it's crazy. I just noticed it recently.
What's your eyelash routine?
It's amazing.
But I didn't know. Okay, so I didn't know that like it involved a sexually transmitted disease. It's reminding me of
no. So it was a drug, but it ends up being sexually transmitted and like the strain, and so yeah,
it reminds me of almost like 28 Days Later, like exposed drug strain, and like It Follows type of thing. Like
so It Follows, yes.
Okay.
It is very much I said this from the beginning. It is a ripoff of The Substance through and through, which is very interesting because Ashton Kutcher's in it. It even ex-husband of Demi Moore.
Oh yeah.
So I wondered how he felt about that because it's very obviously like inspired by The Substance, and it also has a little bit of Death Becomes Her, which is interesting because Isabella Rossellini is in a few episodes.
Wait, have you seen Death Becomes Her?
I have. Yeah, a long time ago. I also kind of want to see the Broadway show.
Oh, I didn't know they were doing a Broadway show.
I don't think it's still. I don't know if it's still on Broadway actually, but it came out like a couple of years ago.
It's a fun movie. I think about it a lot. But anyway, sorry, continue.
But basically, it's the whole thing is like, how far would you go to be beautiful? Which is
people would go pretty far, I think.
Pretty far, and it's pretty graphic. It is a gross show. Like, let me just tell you, it is nasty. And the thing is, so we have said this like a lot, but like, we've talked about movies and shows that it feels like that is the theme of every show and movie right now. So it is, very similar to other things that are out. But basically, so Evan Peters and Rebecca Hall play these FBI agents who sort of have like a situationship, but I actually really liked their characters, and it was very refreshing to see Evan Peters play like a genuinely good guy.
Yeah.
And
you gotta watch Mayor of Easttown.
Gosh, yes, I do need to watch that still.
Yeah.
It's like the one Evan Peters thing that I've never seen.
That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
It was really good.
Because otherwise, I am his biggest fan.
Wow. Club Evan.
But funny enough, like, that is the one thing I haven't seen yet. Yeah. And that's like probably one of his best like acting and roles. But he looked so good in this show, and I'm being serious, like, not even, I mean, he was just like, he was so hot, but he was clear, like, he just looked physically good. Like, he was doing a lot of running. There's a lot of stunt work in this show.
Okay.
So he's doing like a lot of running, and it like felt like I was watching like a Mission Impossible movie.
Ooh,
like,
okay.
It takes place in another country, like other, whatever. So
wait, it takes place in another country?
Yeah, they go to Rome. And so this is interesting. So it was actually the first Ryan Murphy project that he's filmed that took place in not America since he did Eat, Pray, Love, which I didn't know he did Eat, Pray, Love.
Eat, Pray, Love?
Yes.
That movie and that book like changed my life when I was 15. And because I was a basic white girl. But yes.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't know he did. I did not know Ryan Murphy did that.
Produced it or what?
No, I think he directed it.
What?
I want to say he directed it, yeah. But it's his first. So he has not done a movie since then, or a project since then that has taken place not in America, which is crazy.
That is crazy.
And so with all, like I said, all the stunt stuff that was taking place in like other countries, it takes place in like they're like Venice, like Rome. I would say it like really reminded me almost of like Mission Impossible if Ryan Murphy did a Mission Impossible movie. But so I am going to get into some spoilers. So just warning, like we said, you can skip ahead.
Warning. Spoiler alert.
That's my purge, the purge.
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
But so I also love Rebecca Hall, but the sad thing is she's only in it for a few episodes because she ends up being played by a different actor. Like her character is played by a different actor because she gets transformed, which is
a hotter actor.
Yeah. Okay, no. I'm not saying a hotter actor, but yes, like in the context of the show, it's like she's younger.
Okay.
But Rebecca Hall is one of the hottest actresses. Like, she's gorgeous.
Who is she again?
But she's like a little older than the actress that plays the younger.
Yeah.
Or sorry, the transformed version of her. And so here's the thing that I'm gonna say about this show. I loved it. Like, I was very into it. I was really, really invested. It was a little, like, it was cheesy. Some of the dialogue was just like, okay, like, I don't know. At one point they're talking about, what's the term?
Incels?
Yes. They're talking about incels and like chat. Like they're I don't know. Some of it was like a little cringe, but I did like how it kind of explored the way people feel about their bodies, and like that part was really interesting. And again, it was literally a ripoff of The Substance, but like I loved it.
Yeah.
And it really does keep you invested. Like, it was very gross, and I mean, they literally come out, like, you know, in The Substance, like they come out of their backs.
Yeah.
And it's like they when they're transforming, they come out of like this weird cocoon almost. Like, it's like this fleshy cocoon, and the transformation scenes were disgusting. And it's like, you see, like, it's supposed to be like really painful, and they're like their bones are crunching, like they're transforming literally into a new body. So it's like nasty. But it's got a lot going on, as Ryan Murphy shows do, and it does kind of lose its steam towards the end. Yes.
Okay.
So my problem is they kept doing like these like bottle episodes, which I hate when it's like, but it would be towards the end of the season. So I'm like, okay, we only have like, I think it was only like 10 episodes. So I'm like, we've got to get into like what's going on with the characters that we've been watching. We can't be introducing new characters. And yes, it like furthers the plot, but it felt like they were introduced too late. And also, I don't want a whole episode about characters I don't know.
Right.
As you know, I don't like that.
Yeah.
And so, you know, there's like characters that you've been invested in that they don't do anything at all in the last episode. And it's just like, okay. Like, my favorite part was probably Anthony Ramos. Like, he was, I love him so much. He's from Hamilton. He was also in... I think he was in the new Twister movie. He was in A Star Is Born.
Okay,
you
yes.
Definitely.
He was in Twister. Yeah.
Yeah. I really like him, and I never like. He's one of those actors who, like, I mostly know him from Hamilton or like In the Heights, but I loved him in this. He was kind of a bad guy, but he was like kind of an interesting character. His name was his character's was called the Assassin, and he worked for Ashton Kutcher, so he kind of like did his like dirty work and.
I said nice.
Yeah. And I just thought he was so good. But the Assassin had this kind of like weird friendship with this character who was played by Jeremy Pope, and Jeremy Pope's character transforms into Jeremy Pope in the first episode. Okay. And so he has this thing for violence, though. So the Assassin sort of takes him under his wing, and he like makes him his protege, and they end up forming this like kind of friendship, and it just like I really liked them, and they just sort of go nowhere at the end of the season. Yeah. And it did end on a cliffhanger, which like was really wild. And one thing I want to talk about, again, this is a spoiler, but okay, so the whole time, so like I said, Evan Peters and Rebecca Hall's like character, again, she's played by a different actress later, but they are FBI agents, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. They're trying to trying to figure out the origins of this drug and take down like who, you know, is responsible. And basically it gets to this point, like at the end of the season, where Evan Peters needs to disguise himself to take down, I think he's trying to kill Ashton Kutcher's character. Just stay with me because this is wild. So he has to he's about to, and the whole thing is like, so everybody's sort of self-conscious about something in their body. That's why when Rebecca Hall transforms, she does transform into someone like more like younger and like not necessarily more beautiful, but just, you know, younger. Whereas Evan Peters is not really self-conscious about anything about him. He's, you know, he's very he's positive, and he's like, you don't need to fix anything about yourself, and he's perfectly happy with how he looks, and, you know, whatever.
Sounds like Chris.
So then he has to take one for the team, and he's like, okay, I need to disguise myself. He needs to not know who I am. So he's like, I need to take the drug to transform.
You can't wear a disguise?
I don't know.
Okay.
So he ends up doing it.
He's like,
but he does it through sex. So he
chose the fun way.
Yeah, there's a sex scene. He has a sex scene with her name is Jordan. With Jordan, and
it's like, oh, I guess I have to sleep with this hot woman.
So the whole time you're like, who's he going to transform into? And you're kind of hoping, and I saw other people say this too, like you're kind of hoping he just stays Evan Peters because you're like, he was always happy with himself, like he's already really hot. Like how can you get better than Evan Peters? Right. Like at one point, Anthony Ramos' character says something like he calls him like an old leather glove or something. Like he's talking about Evan Peters' face, and
Isn't
it's like,
he like 35?
Are you insane? Evan Peters is like one of the hottest people.
Yeah.
And so you're the whole time you're like, what's gonna happen? Alexa, he turns into a like 12-year-old boy. He transforms into a 12-year-old boy.
What?
Keep in mind, he has like a relationship with Jordan. So now that's like weird.
And
luckily they don't go anywhere with that.
Okay.
Like it's like fine. Like it's the last episode at that. Like that was the cliffhanger of the second to last episode. So then in the last episode, he's a boy now. And they don't like go anywhere weird with that, luckily, thankfully.
I mean,
because I wouldn't put it past them. But it's just, I was like, no.
Give it time. There's
and I was
season
like,
2.
Please change back.
That's okay. I was going to ask, because when you're talking about like Evan Peters kind of being like okay with how he looks and stuff, was there like a moral lesson underneath the show, or is it just like commentary on beauty?
It's commentary on beauty for sure, and societal standards and how I like it. Okay, I think there is in that, you should be happy with how you look. And they do. So one of the bottle episodes is about like a young girl getting, like the teenagers are getting a hold of the drug.
Right.
And so there's like a young girl who gets a hold of the drug and she ends up taking the drug and she transforms into this like grotesque monster and it's like horrifying. And so I mean, that is like the moral lesson is like, what can.
It's like some people are ugly and need it, but some people just think they're ugly and don't.
Right. And I think, okay, I mean, the thing with this show is like, I was laughing about this because I was like, what do the actors feel like if you play the character pre-transformation?
Yeah.
Because at one point, do you know who Ben Platt is?
No, I don't.
He's from,
sounds familiar.
He's from Dear Evan Hansen.
Yes,
and
I know
he was
who he
in
is.
The Politician. You've probably seen it. Yeah.
He was in Glee, I think, right?
I don't know if he was on Glee.
He played like he was in the chorus of a different school or something.
I thought he was in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, he's in Pitch Perfect too.
Okay.
I'll look it up later.
I could be wrong. But anyway, he plays a character who gets transformed into like this beautiful model. And I was kind of like, well, Ben Platt is not, he's not bad looking. So I just was like, imagine like being an actor pre-transformation in the show.
Yeah.
Like I'd be so offended,
Yeah, I think that anytime they have like these kind of like transformation type of shows or whatever, where you're just like, oh, interesting.
But I will say they had a lot of actors, and I normally hate this, and Ryan Murphy does this a lot. But they have a lot of actors who aren't actors, like Meghan Trainor's in it. And, but Bella Hadid is in the very first scene, and she has this like really crazy scene where she's like walking down the runway, and she ends up you come to find out that she was somebody who took the drug, and she's like, she was this is post transformation, and she's a model. But the thing is, there's this like weird thing where like they are like dying of thirst, like they have to drink water, like they get like really dehydrated. And she ends up, and so the first scene is actually really crazy. Again, it reminded me of like a Mission Impossible scene or something, because it's like in Italy, and they're like, she's like on a motorcycle, and she's racing down, and people are after her, yeah. And when they die, like when the side effects, like the like bad side effect is that they like literally burst into flesh and blood.
That's very substance.
And that happens to her. Yeah, exactly. And so it's like, she was actually pretty good in it. Like from the one scene, I was like, oh, okay. It grabs you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would say overall, like I would not recommend it to you, but I would recommend it to people who, if you like Ryan Murphy shows, if you like body horror, gore, weirdness,
I think
I'd recommend it.
You know what I think is interesting is like I feel like we were in the COVID era where it's like, oh, now we're making like art and stuff in response to COVID, and people are kind of like, oh, I'm good on that.
Right.
And now I think we're starting into like the Ozempic era where I'm like, actually, I think I'm fine. I know. I don't need more commentary on how we're all like obsessed with beauty and like thinness. Yeah. I'm not saying this show necessarily. I'm just saying like I can feel the tide coming.
Yeah. I'm like, I'm good on this one, and now we're good. We don't need to make any more.
Do you think you'd watch season 2 with young Evan Peters?
Yeah, if it's Evan Peters is back, sure.
What if he's not?
But not just Evan Peters. Like I really liked the other actors in it too. If he's not, I mean, I loved Anthony Rand. Like I really love him a lot.
Really?
Yeah,
should have seen Twisters.
Was good. Nope.
Yeah, that's not actually not. That's not for you.
I like him in other things though, and he has a beautiful voice. Yeah. And at one point he sings. He's like obsessed with Christopher Cross, so he's singing like, what song is that? Like the sailing song by Christopher Cross, and he's like in the car. It's like this really weird scene where he's singing, and I was like, oh, what a beautiful voice.
I don't know.
Sailing takes me away.
Oh, I was thinking the yo ho.
What?
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh,
I was like, wow, he was singing that in the car.
No.
I was like, this show did take a turn. Interesting. Okay.
It's funny. It's campy.
Yeah.
It's camp, but I liked it.
Yeah.
You know me.
And I think I actually do enjoy things like commentary on beauty in general. I just am like, I just don't want it all to be like Ozempic focused.
We did this and now we're good.
Yeah.
This can be the last one.
And it brings me up, I don't need an answer on this. I was just thinking about this the other day, but because we watched Train Dreams and there's a scene where he's like, I saw my reflection for the first time in like 10 years or something. And I just thought, it was like, well, how would it change if you just didn't see your reflection for like a year? How do you think it would change like your priorities and what you think about yourself?
So I don't know if you remember this, but you did ask me this in the car the other day.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was like,
I'm asking like, this is thought provoking for the
audience.
For the audience, yeah.
Got it. I thought you were asking me again. I was like, Alexa.
No, I remember, yeah.
Aw.
And I don't have an answer to that. I've just been pondering.
I'm pondering too, because I think I said maybe okay, well, you know what's a really, really humbling moment, and this might be my answer, is like when you're on Teams, like on a Teams call, and somebody is sharing their screen, and then they click out of the presentation, and it shows the Teams, and you see your face, and it's like, I guess it's flipped. Yeah. I hope so. And your face is just completely like sideways, like it's like crooked. And I every time it's so like, ugh. And I was talking to somebody recently, and they were talking, and they were like, yeah, and when your face is all lopsided. I'm like, oh, thank God. So it's not just me. So it is, everyone feels that way. Okay.
Absolutely. I thought you were going to say nothing is more horrific when it's like, because I work from home. So it's like, oh, I haven't really looked in the mirror, and I hop on a Teams call and everyone's camera's on. So I'm like, okay, camera's on. And then I'm like, oh my God.
Do you not do preview?
I don't know if you can do that on Zoom.
Oh, I think you can.
I haven't figured it out.
Maybe not.
But even if you do, like, I'm like, well, I'm already in the call. Everyone's on. I'm like, I'm just like,
I don't join a call until I know the camera's off and the microphone's off. Join, and then I look in the little preview, and I'm like, okay, we're good to go.
Yeah.
I have a little light thing on my desk now upstairs, and that helps with lighting.
Okay.
And that helps with this. And
you look great.
Good to go.
I'm seeing your reverse face, and I think it doesn't look lopsided at all.
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Well, to move on to more things, also kind of a little bit about beauty and lust, we both watched Vladimir.
Yes.
Okay, and I was really... At first, I was kind of like, I didn't know what the show was, and I was like, wait, are they making a show about, like, Lolita? And it is kind of a little bit, like, it has, like, an age gap thing. But at first, okay, now that we've finished it, overall, what do you think?
So it took me, and I think I texted you this after watching, like, the first episode, it took me a minute to understand the tone of the show.
Yes.
I did not know it was, like, a satirical, dark comedy show.
Yeah.
With like breaking the fourth wall. And after watching the whole show, I would say I liked it, but I didn't love it.
Right, yes. I think there's a lot of thought-provoking things that I think this is like one of the few instances where I'm like, I think it needed to be like maybe hour-long episodes, like where you dive into the characters more or something. But just like, so you know what we're talking about. If you haven't seen it, Vladimir is a new Netflix series that stars Rachel Weisz as a professor whose lust for a younger colleague renews her lust for life itself and drives her to alarming extremes. Her younger colleague is Leo Woodall. Her husband in the show is John Slattery. Did I say that right?
Slattery.
Slattery.
Love both of them.
Yes. And
and Rachel Weisz. I love all three of them.
Yes. And so I think there's so it's adapted from a 2022 novel of the same name by author Julia May Jonas. Great name.
They made that show fast then. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it was a really popular novel. But so it's interesting because it starts out Leah Woodall is kind of a new professor to the college that she teaches at, but Rachel Weisz is currently enmeshed in some drama because her husband and her have an open marriage, and he used to have affairs with students. And so it was different back then is what they keep saying. But now the students have come forward and have kind of accused him of, abusing his position of power. And so it's interesting because I think they do a really good balancing job of that, of having these perspectives of the older generation kind of being well, it was different back then, or they knew what they were getting into. It was a consensual relationship. But then also you can see them once they hear the perspectives of the students, or there's, by the end, I mean, spoiler, but not really, they lead up to it the whole time. There's the trial where you actually hear from the students, and you can see oh, maybe this isn't as simple as you thought it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that part was really interesting. I think the dynamic between Rachel Weisz and her husband was actually almost more interesting to me than between her and Leah Woodall.
I actually didn't love the chemistry between her and Leah Woodall.
Yeah.
I didn't think it was that interesting.
And I think that's supposed to be the point, because she's making it interesting. And I was reading this thing where it's so there are a lot of Nabokov, because again, it's a Lolita inspired type of thing. Yeah. Hints throughout it. For example, the person where one of the girls who he had a relationship with works at this coffee shop called Charlotte Hayes, which is Lolita's mother's name. So they have those things, but there's also in Lolita, it's I can't remember the main character's name, but basically he's obsessed with this younger girl, and it's basically him getting inspiration and whatever from this passionate obsession with this woman, which is what men do all the time. They have their muses, and then they kind of once they're done with them, they just use them for inspiration, and then they kind of dump them. And so it's almost a reverse of that, where you can see Rachel Weisz, she had written her character, which she doesn't have a name, I don't think.
She's the protagonist.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna call her Rachel Weisz. But anyways, she wrote a really famous novel, and then she says she's basically had writer's block for 10 years. So she's almost doing the same thing, where she's kind of using Leah Woodall's character to inspire herself, and she's started writing again once and it's before they even have anything, it's just them talking, and there's scenes these cut to scenes of them making out on the printer and stuff like that, but it's in her head what she's imagining.
Yeah. And I loved, so the thing about her is she's a very unreliable narrator, and you get that from the very beginning. There's a scene where she goes to this I think it's a luncheon, and her whole thing is she's I bring this salad that everybody loves, and she's and she even says at the party, because she talks to the camera, so she's everybody loved my salad, and then it cuts to the salad and it's been untouched. Yeah. And I just, from that moment on, you're okay, this she is not. What she says, what's in her head, is not the real situation. And up until literally the last scene of the show.
Yeah. So you're kind of piecing it together, which I think made it fun. Yeah. And also, as someone me, big book girl, I loved their house. I think I texted you, I was I would
property porn.
Sell my soul for their home.
Yeah.
And the set design, I love whenever, so we were talking about this recently, how there's always these waves of English department shows or college university shows, and whenever they have an English professor, the set design is always so pitch perfect, because the homes are so richly textured. There's books everywhere, but also artistically placed, beautiful.
Yeah.
But I also loved, and I kind of clocked this on the first one, because the first episode is called We Have Always Lived in the Castle. And so each episode is named after a work by an American woman author.
Yeah.
Which fits because she teaches American women studies.
Yeah.
Or the American women author novel, whatever. I don't know what the name, you know what I'm saying? What her course load is.
Yeah.
And so I was I loved that. I loved all these kind of allusions to different things throughout. But I think again, I just wish it maybe had given more time to like bring out these like other, like to bring out more depth in the relationships, because I was actually really interested in her relationship with her husband, where they have this open marriage and, you know, she's frustrated because she's basically like he's kind of ruined her life by getting them into this drama that was agreed to. And it's weird because they're both kind of rude to each other, but also like they're almost like best friends. Like you can tell like
there's a partnership.
They're not going to leave each other.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my person and I'm going to be like sticking with them. Like you can tell there's a lot of love. Like he'll do, like her husband will do this thing where like she's about to leave and he's like, just so you know, like that's not a skirt that looks good on you or something like that. Yeah. And he's not saying it in like a typical like, I don't know, assholey type of way. Like,
yeah, like he is an asshole, but
but he's doing it like, he's like, no, I'm trying to help you out. Like,
yeah,
you would look better in a different skirt type of thing. And she kind of does the same thing for him. And but I think like the life that they build together is really interesting. And she does this whole like forum on like what an open marriage is and what her marriage is like, because the students want her to like basically be accountable for his actions.
Yeah, that was a weird scene.
That was strange. I was like, I don't know what student body that is like woke would be like, we need to get the wife of the professor out because she hasn't spoken up against him. I think we're at a point in this like in time where we would like young people, I can say that now, like college students wouldn't be, that's not the direction their thoughts would move in. I don't think.
But I will say she is a complicated character because, I mean, she really is like there's some things where you're like, okay, there's a whole thing where there's a character who she maybe took a scholarship opportunity away from because I think she was somebody who he, like a former victim of his, or a victim of his. And so it's like there is sort of that question of like, okay, is she...
Because she starts out by saying, so this student works at the coffee shop. She goes in the coffee shop. She's like, oh, this is my former student. She hates me. I had to fail her. She never showed up for class. She didn't do the work. That's all you get. You don't know. And then as it goes on, it's like, okay, yeah, like she did sleep with my husband. Oh, okay. Like, yeah, I was on the committee for her work. And it's interesting because it's like, you're just getting like these bits and pieces, but it's all from her. So she's like rationalizing things in her head, but it's like not, but you have to take it all with a grain of salt, you know? Yeah. I think also what's interesting is the change in their daughter throughout the show. Mm-hmm. That was really, I think, interesting because so they have one daughter and she's very clearly like, not a daddy's girl type of thing, but like her and her dad seem very similar.
Yeah.
And she is probably like, I think like 35. She's a lawyer. And it is very strange that like, she becomes her dad's lawyer on the case where he has slept with like 12 students. And like they mentioned that at one point, like someone was like, I forget who it was. They were like, don't you think it's strange that your daughter is your lawyer? And I think she said it. And then the husband was like, well, what do you want to pay for a lawyer? And so throughout it, she's like trying to help them get through this like trial or whatever, and she's like, they have no case. Like she's very much like supporting them, like she has their back. And then she goes into the trial with her dad, hears the testimony of the women, and you can tell like afterwards her dad is like, well, do you want to like go get dinner or something? And she's like, I think I'm gonna go back to the city. Like I think I'm gonna, and I think like that is, I don't know,
it's interesting.
Yeah. And I think it goes to show like, again, even everything is like perspectives are layered for every character. So like you hear like you have the unreliable narrator of the main narrator. Then even the daughter is an unreliable narrator because she says like her and her girlfriend have broken up or whatever. And when her girlfriend comes back in the picture, her girlfriend's like, we weren't broken up. And then you have the husband who's unreliable because like, you know, what we've said. And then Leo Woodall's character is unreliable because he's also saying the stuff. Him and his wife both work at the college.
Yeah.
And there's this whole thing where it sounds like she went through like a period of postpartum depression where he will like, he says these things about his wife and then she says a different thing. But also she's kind of an unreliable narrator because sometimes she's like, it's so interesting now that I'm like realizing how layered it is.
Yeah, it is interesting. I think what you were saying earlier, like about the episodes could have been a little bit long. It shocked me when I was like, oh, it's a lunchtime show.
Yeah.
It seems like it should be longer than 30 minutes. It's not, I mean, it's more, it's like a comedy drama. So I think it could have benefited from having a little bit longer episodes.
Yeah.
And we would have gotten a little bit more layers and character depth. And
when I got to the end, I didn't realize, like, of the first episode, I didn't even look at how long it was when I hit play. And I was like, oh, wait, it's over? I was like, oh.
Yeah. I went into the show really not knowing anything about it or what to expect, because it was when she started talking to the camera, and it was very much like satirical and like, you know, breaking the fourth wall. I just was like, that is not the tone I thought the show was. And it was interesting, but I came away from it with two things. So I love Rachel Weisz, I love Leah Woodall, but I was like, this whole time, it's two British people doing the worst American accents I've ever heard.
Yeah. And it's not even for Rachel Weisz. It wasn't even that the accent was bad. It was like her voice was strange. Like, I couldn't put my finger on it.
Yeah, she had, I don't know. It was...
And I don't know if it was on purpose or what.
I'm trying to think if I've seen her do American accents in other things.
I really know her from The Mummy.
Like that.
I know she's done a lot more, but
she's usually British though.
Yeah.
Funny, because I also think Daniel Craig does a horrible American accent too.
I forgot to tell you the daughter is also British in the show. Yeah. So actually, there was one American character.
Yeah.
Of the main
and Leo
bunch.
Woodall also. I'm used to him. I love his British accent, and I just was like, you don't sound great with an American accent.
He doesn't. Here's the thing. Even if he had the best American accent, he looks British. It's like the way his face is shaped. It's like, I can tell you're saying stuff British. You know, like I can tell you were raised that way. Yeah. So even like, I don't know.
My other thought was I just would love for someone to hold me hostage in a cabin and just make me write for hours.
Yeah, and like that sounds like fantastic.
That's the dream.
Yes. I'm curious your thoughts though. So I think Leo Woodall commented on this, but people were saying, but that he's very similar to his character, like in Bridget Jones, where it's like an age gap relationship, and it's like, oh, he's like so hot or whatever. And then John Slattery. I keep saying it wrong every time. I've seen him. I saw him in this. I saw him in obviously Mad Men and like Modern Love, and he also plays kind of a similar character each time.
I've never seen him not play like a
snarky,
sarcastic, funny silver fox.
What would you? I'm curious though. Like, I don't know if it's like just the way he looks. I'm like, I can't picture him any other way, though.
I know. I think it's because he is so, like, I was going to say sly. What am I trying to say? Like, he's just he's smooth. He's smooth talking.
Yeah. Like, he was perfectly cast in Mad Men, you know?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. But I'm curious, like, for Leo Woodall. I don't want him to get typecast, though. I fear it is too late for John Slattery. Not that he's, like, old, but, like, I mean, he's been in so many big things like that, but... Like, I want to see Leo Woodall do something, like I guess in One Day he was a little different, but not really.
I didn't watch One Day.
You would have actually, I don't know.
I don't think I would. I've really tried, and I just, I'm not a big romance person, so I just don't think I could watch an entire show about two people who just keep missing each other.
Is there any romance that you've liked? I'm curious. Like, is there one that's broken the mold for you?
There are. I did really like Wuthering Heights.
Okay.
Let's see. I love The Notebook.
Really?
Yeah, I've told you that.
Okay. No, I don't remember that.
I actually like a good deal of Nicholas Sparks stories.
Okay.
Shockingly. I don't know. I suddenly can't think of any romance movie ever.
Ponder it. Oh.
Okay, this is a sad one.
Okay.
Have you seen Blue Valentine?
No, it's missing from my collection, you know?
Oof.
Okay. Interesting. I'll give that one a watch. You liked Atonement. Is that romance? I don't know if it's romance. I guess it's
war romance.
Yeah.
I do love Atonement. I think it's a great movie. I don't watch it as much as you do.
Well, I haven't seen it in years. I just got the haircut. And it didn't go well.
You were just mentioning Atonement literally today.
Yeah, I wanted to watch it, and it's behind a paywall. Sorry.
God.
That was aggressive. Sorry. But anyway, so I really liked it, but it wasn't, I think it could have been more. I enjoyed my time, but I won't be going back.
I liked how it ended, though. I thought it was an interesting ending.
Yes, yeah.
It was very much like or did I?
Yeah.
It was unhinged.
Yeah, which is like very her.
Yeah.
Yeah. But speaking of unhinged, so you're a fan of Lily Allen.
I am. I love Lily Allen.
Did you hear about her receipt dress?
I did.
I thought this was interesting.
Yeah.
So she's been doing her Lily Allen tour. I forget the name of it. It's been getting some bad reviews, actually, because I think in the beginning she just does like recordings of her hits. Like it's not her performing. And then she comes out and does a few of her new songs and that's it. And people have been like...
Wait, what? Like she just presses play and it's...
Yeah. And I mean, there's probably like a light show or something, but it's not her performing it, I think.
What?
Yeah, so people have been like not
what are
enjoying
people paying
that.
money for?
That's what people have been saying.
Okay.
But so the other day, she was...
It was not the other day. I'm just...
Well, it was like it was the other day. It was like a week or two ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a couple weeks ago, but yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so she was performing the song 4chan Stan, which is about like a woman's discovery of her husband's infidelity via receipts.
Which is about David Harbour.
Yeah, that she finds in her bedside drawer. So then she like pulls out a long stretch of green fabric around her body, and the cloth is printed with receipts from places like the Plaza Hotel, Nobu, Chanel, along with fragments of like text messages and handwritten notes. And people have been speculating that those are like the real receipts and texts from David Harbour. Mm-hmm. And it's interesting because so the designer of the dress, she said the idea for me really was to have something in the song 4chan Stan that Lily can pull and get more and more and more out. And she said that the cloth is representative of seemingly endless process of uncovering details of a partner's betrayal, that she like the designer felt was like linked to scrolling through like endless social media feeds. However, the designer declined to comment on whether they were real and described them as, quote, artistic interpretation of the lyrics.
Yeah, I mean, she probably can't say.
Yeah, but I just love like, I don't know, maybe they're real or not. And then it's like, well, whose receipts are they? If they're not, like who? And I'm curious, like.
Well, she could have just created them.
That's true, I guess. Yeah, there are graphic designs and stuff, but whatever.
Whose receipts are they?
Where'd she get these from? The Watergate Hotel?
I love the name of her tour, though.
What is it again?
West End Girl.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, that is fun. But how do you feel about the like dress aspect?
Corny.
I do too. I think I was like, maybe it's a little too on the nose. I think maybe it's a little too much. Also, it was kind of an ugly dress. Which, I mean, it has receipts all over it. So, like, what was it really going to do? Yeah. And I just think, like, coming out with the album the way she did, great, phenomenal. But then I think you just let it steam on its own. You don't need to add to it. You don't need to. Which also, speaking of David Harbour, Chris and I have been watching DTF St. Louis, and I think I think you might like it.
Really?
Yes. It's again one of those shows kind of like Vladimir where the tone you're like at first you're like, "Wait, what is this?" And then once you get into it, you're like, "Okay, this is pretty funny." And I would say David Harbour is a great comedic actor.
He is really funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they put this belly on him in the show that I thought was his real belly, actually. And then I guess it's not, but I was like, wow, that's the man that Lily Allen wrote an album about.
No, I think he's really hot.
Yeah, when you see the belly, you'll know what I'm talking about. If you thought that it was real, then you'd be like, whoa, it's not. So shout out to him on his physique, I guess. But yeah, I was just curious what your thoughts were on that because, yeah, I know you're a fan.
I am. I do think, like I said, I think it's a little, it's a little corny.
Yeah.
But love her music.
Yeah.
Respect her.
Yeah.
I think, I'm wondering how our tour is doing, like in terms of sales.
Well, I don't know. There's been a lot of like clapback for some artists lately. I think Harry Styles got a lot of flack for like the cost of tickets recently. And it's been causing issues where it's like, I'm sure Harry Styles isn't having this issue, but for a lot of artists, like, you know, they're not able to like actually fill stadiums.
I know.
And
which I don't want to be like how embarrassing, but like,
yeah.
Also, we're not talking about this, but did you hear about the Ticketmaster employees whose texts got leaked?
No.
And they were talking about like these idiots who are like, we're robbing them. They're so stupid. It was like,
sounds like the Department of Defense texts where they're
but it was crazy because it's like no one's talking about it. Like people were talking about it, but I feel like this should like really blow up. And it's like, but yeah,
they've got that PR team.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's, I mean, and I think like that'll be interesting because like I remember the first time I saw Beyonce for the Lemonade tour. Mm-hmm. How much do you think those tickets were?
Okay.
It was 2016.
Okay. Well, I don't know where you were located.
It was North Carolina.
Where your seats were located.
They were not great, but not bad.
Okay.
Weren't Bayhive.
2.
Okay, that's interesting. $80.
Really?
Yes, $80. Chris and I went to go see Beyonce for the Renaissance tour. It's like $150 for worse seats.
That's great.
I mean, great, but like for worse seats. But I'm just like, that's an inflation and like whatever.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, that is crazy. Like, who is an artist that you would be like, I'll pay $200 to go see them? I'm curious.
No one. Like, I really don't. I'm trying to think.
I missed out on Charlie XCX and I'm sad about that.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been a fun time.
I don't. Now, Broadway,
Yeah.
drop money for Broadway.
But those, I feel like prices have remained pretty consistent.
Yeah, and especially with like when famous actors are in them.
Yeah.
It's a little bit of a scam, but it's just true.
Yeah.
I don't know. But artists, like, I just never. I'm not a huge concert person.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, the last concert I went to, no, it was Jonas Brothers.
You are going to a Weird Al concert.
Am I? I haven't gotten those tickets yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll let Chris know.
And Jonas Brothers, you know, like I don't know what we paid for those, but those were some nosebleed seats. It was great.
Yeah.
I had a great time.
Yeah.
I'm not like that with artists. I'm
yeah.
really not. I mean, Charlie XCX, like, I would understand paying a crazy amount, but
like,
you know
big
what?
artists.
Go ahead. Sabrina, I would probably.
Really?
Yeah. I would have loved to have gone to her short and sweet tour.
If the tickets were $80, I would go. If they were $200, I'd be like, I'd be fine missing it.
I would go for like $130.
Okay. That's good. Yeah. That's a like meet in the middle. Yeah. And if it's like a group of your friends and stuff, I think like I realized like going when I was younger was more fun because now I am like thinking about the parking situation. I'm thinking about the fact that my feet hurt.
Yeah.
I'm like not as drunk as I used to be, you know? And I think that kind of like ruins it a little bit. And I did see the Avett Brothers ones, and I always say, I'm like, that was an awful concert because I swear to God they played every song they ever wrote. It went on for like over like almost 3 hours. And I remember just being like, okay, I think I'm good.
But you know who else did like every song they ever wrote and we saw it for free? Flo Rida.
That's true. And that was good. That was fun.
I thought about recently how there was so much that we literally left during My House.
Oh, we were just like,
we're good now. And he was singing My House. And I love that song, but we were just like, we're good.
And then he came back to Busch Gardens the next year.
He comes back every year. So it's kind of it's getting a little like.
We love Busch Gardens. he had the crowd yelling, "We love Celsius."
Remember he was singing? It was like yelling like "International Nephew" or something.
Oh yeah.
Like, what?
And to be fair, we were yelling it. We were like, "We love Celsius."
Robin and Jackie still. Shout out Robin and Jackie. They still listen to that one singer that he was with him.
Oh, Ride the Stick.
Ride the Stick, yeah. They still listen to that song. They played every time I'm in the car with them.
It was fun. It was a good song. Kind of crazy for the crowd. You know, whatever. For, millennials and their children.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just always think of how he gave his whole shoe to that child. Faith was her name. It was her birthday. That's how she said it. He said, "What's your name?" She goes, "Faith." And he was like, "I have a gift for you." He pulled off his whole man-sized shoe.
I'm not sure why.
Gave it to her. And then she stood, you can't see me. She stood with her hand above her head, just holding the shoe, literally being like, "I don't know who this man is and what to do with this shoe."
Yeah, she was like, "I actually don't know who Flo Rida is. Why am I here?"
Yeah. And then he like gave his other shoe to another child in the crowd. And then I was like, okay, I guess he's shoeless. I don't know.
Yeah. She's like, we could be on Apollo right now.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. She was small.
We could be on Sesame Street.
Yeah.
Right. I don't know.
So, speaking of artists putting on a show, have you seen the Chappell Roan like paparazzi video in Paris?
You know, you see one Mad Chappell Roan video, you've seen them all.
Yes, but this, I don't know, really got me. Did you see this one, though?
Yeah, I did.
Okay.
I'm just saying.
And it's like, I was
My point is she's mad every Tuesday.
Yes. And it's like, I just had to put it on the podcast because I just want to say, so she basically is getting out of a car in Paris for Paris Fashion Week, and she is confronted with like a bunch of paparazzi and aggressive photographers because she's a famous person. And like she pulls out her phone and starts filming them like they're fucking ICE agents or something. And she starts saying, she's like, and this is what it looks like when you disregard someone as a human. This is what it's like when people don't respect your boundaries. Boundaries are being disrespected, because she repeatedly asked to be left alone while walking to dinner. And it just felt so cringe to me.
It did, because, okay, so, and by the way, there were like 4 people there. It wasn't like a huge crowd. I mean, I'm not saying, sometimes I go back and forth with her when this is happening, because not with her, but I go back and forth on this about her. It's like, I do think, like, yes, respect people's privacies.
Yes.
No one forced you to be famous.
Right.
And no one forced you to become a pop star. It's what you wanted. Unfortunately, fame does come with that.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes, yes, you should deserve... They deserve privacy. I don't think, she should be stalked and she shouldn't be disrespected. And I think, like, her whole thing on the red carpet when she yelled at the photographers, that could have, like, kind of moved something, started a little bit of a movement where I noticed a video of, I don't know who it was, but somebody was like, wow, you guys, it might have been Sabrina Carpenter, but she was like, on the red carpet, and she was like, wow, Chapel scared you guys because everyone was really quiet.
Yeah.
And, like, okay, great. But I just think, how do you feel?
I also think the same thing, because I'm like, at one point, I'm like, on one side, I get what she's saying.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it actually is. Because, again, I've been watching that Love Story show, and, like, the whole thing is, like, all the paparazzi are, like, ruining this person's life. Like, I think about, like, Princess Diana and, like, just people in general. And I'm actually surprised there aren't more, like, laws and regulations against paparazzi. But at the same time, it's like the way she goes about it, I'm like, why are you filming something? Why don't you like try to actually start a movement? Why don't you actually try to do something about it, instead of just being like, these are people not respecting boundaries. Okay, they aren't going to care, and you kind of sound like an idiot.
And wasn't one of them a fan, or am I wrong about that? Like, it looked like there was like a guy who was just like a fan. I don't think he was, unless he was one of those like sign, like people trying to get her signature or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't... if it was a fan, there was something kind of gross about that, her sticking her camera like in his face. I don't know, which I know he was doing to her, but I just think I'm just going to be honest, her personality, I love her as an artist, her personality is so off-putting to me.
It's so grating to me. Like, it's like,
and
it's
this is
unfortunate.
me saying this as a close personal friend when I saw her at Cabaret that one time. Oh, yeah. But I just don't love her personality.
It's frustrating to me because she does these things where I'm like, oh, you have a point, but you're kind of ruining the point with your personality. Like, and it's not that she needs to be pleasant and cheery. It's just like her approach to things. Like, again, I'm like, yeah, I think you're right. Paparazzi need to be like reined in and controlled, and like, even if you are signing up to be a famous person, it is kind of like destroying people's lives in a certain way. But also at the same time, do something about it then. Like, besides just yelling at people, where you forget that it's also like, this is their job.
Yeah.
Like, you're doing your job, this is their job. Like, I
might be wrong on this. People might disagree, but there's something to it that's like, she's newly famous.
Yeah.
Relatively new, that I'm like, I don't know. I just, sometimes I'm like, well, there's just something off-putting about it, that she's just, and so Boy George, who I'm not saying I agree, but he basically like said something. He was just like, you need to like enjoy fame and stop like, like he basically was just saying that she's like handling being famous wrong. And it's just interesting because I just think people who have been around longer, I guess, are a little bit more gracious than her. Yeah. And that's how I feel. I just think she is, I don't know.
Like, what does she want? Does she want to be rich and famous without the stuff that comes with it? Because that is like kind of like the downside of it. It's like you have everything in the world, but yeah, like you don't have a lot of privacy. That's what you're giving up. If you want to have privacy, be poor like us.
Yeah, I think it is that too, where I'm just like, yeah, I mean, there should still be boundaries and respect and safety, but I do also think, I mean, she is just always mad, and that's what gets me. This wasn't like a one-time thing where she's fed up and kind of blowing up or whatever after like holding it in this whole time. Like, it just feels like every week she's mad about something.
That's what I was gonna say, is also like when you see her on talk shows and stuff, sometimes I'm like, you seem like you're rude.
Yes,
like you just seem like you're not a nice person. And again, it's not that she needs to be. I'm not like expecting everyone to be nice and sweet and stuff all the time. But she just seems like she would be rude to people for no reason.
But I will say, I was joking, but when I saw her at Cabaret, I was like watching her interacting with people down on the floor, and she seemed very nice. She was very friendly. She was talking to people, like going up and like talking to other celebrities, and like, I mean, they're celebrities, but like still, like she seemed very smiley and like happy. She was waving to fans. So
Cabaret effect.
Yeah. It's a great show. I mean, she's having a good time.
She's like, I fucking love Cabaret. What's there to be mad about?
Exactly. Can't be mad in the Kit Kat Club.
I haven't seen it, so I'm sure that was a really good joke.
It wasn't a joke. It was just a reference. But I still, whenever I see her in every other situation, she just seems so pissed off. And something about it's like she's never smiling. She's got that white face on. Like, she's just always like...
It just, and again, I'm like, there do need to be regulations around paparazzi. Yeah. You're not doing anything by whatever you're doing here.
Yeah. You're making people more mad.
See something, say something. You know what I mean? Do something about it.
Yeah. She's just interesting. I'm sure there'll be another situation like that.
Oh, I'm sure for years to come.
Yeah. But it's just crazy. She's already like this, and she's so new to being famous, I feel.
Maybe she'll get jaded one day. Who knows? Like the
rest
of us. But
jaded in the opposite way, where she'll be like, all right, come on with the camera. Yeah. Take your pictures.
Yeah. I don't know. What do you think, like, is your favorite paparazzi moment? Of not just her, but, like, in general.
There's one that comes to mind where, this is my favorite. No, this is, to me, one of the most iconic. Like, I don't know if you'll know this, but because I used to love watching paparazzi videos, like when I was younger, like in the 2000s, when High School Musical was big and Ashley Tisdale. Do you know which one?
Oh, no, wait. Okay, I thought you were going to say a different one.
When Ashley Tisdale and Vanessa Hudgens were like best friends and they were like paparazzi. I actually, if you go back and watch the video, I forgot how famous they were. Because it's like you wouldn't see that now with them, but back then they were being like followed by swarms of paparazzi. And there's one video of them going through the McDonald's drive-through, and they're, again, I mean, it's actually kind of sad. This is where you need Chappell Roan, because it's like they are being swarmed. And they must be, I think they're like high or something, because they're like really laughing. They're like, and they're like ordering chicken nuggets, and like they're just like giggling and like laughing. But they're trying to order, and the paparazzi are literally like blocking the
drive,
the like speaker.
Yeah.
And they're trying to order, but there's all the cameras flashing and they're like in the way, and like the person can't hear them. And so like then Vanessa is like, or Ashley Tisdale is like, can I have the chicken McNugget meal? And like all the paparazzi start like laughing at her and, like, and then they're laughing, and then like the lady is like, I can't hear you. And then they're trying to order more loudly, and she's like, is that paparazzi out there? And she's like, hey, what's up? Who's that? And then like they're like, what is going on?
That's funny.
And it's so funny. And then like they're trying to order, and like the paparazzi are like kind of making like, but it's like funny, like they're joking around with each other, and the paparazzi's like, she wants a Big Mac, and like and then they like get up to the the window, and like the paparazzi are having to like hand them their food.
That's
like through
funny.
The window. I just like, that's peak.
Yeah.
It's not good. It wasn't good, but like that's when it was fun.
And that's like, sometimes I feel like these celebrities have almost like relationships with certain paparazzi. Like sometimes they're like not good friends, but like
Miley Cyrus used to like know them by name. Like I would watch videos, again, other like videos. She'd be like, hey, like she would know them.
Yeah. Like there's one that like Britney Spears was like, again, not close to, but like he,
I'm sure she knew them by name.
Yeah. And I think that's interesting for me, and this is not appropriate, and I feel bad that I think this is my like Roman Empire of paparazzi, because it isn't a huge invasion of privacy, but the Hillary Duff engagement photos.
Oh, that's crazy. So you're talking about actual photographs.
Yeah, but also that. Yeah.
That's just the one that came to mind.
It's just
that's
like
funny.
That
was crazy, yeah.
It was crazy because it's just like her being like the ring and then the next
it's so that's funny. Crazy that they filmed it.
Yes, and it's just like Hillary Duff. There's Lizzie McGuire, and it's like, good, congrats.
Don't you think she would have known that they were down there?
I think maybe if they were like, hidden, like in a bush, because she's like up on a.
I know, like but she's like, it's clearly like. Yeah. Right after the engagement, so you'd think that she would know that they're down there.
She's very like, not buttoned up, but like she's very. I think if she had known, she would not have done that.
so funny.
Yeah, and just like he's like on like a reclining, like what do you call, like one of those outdoor things, like.
Yeah, that's which one did you think I was gonna say when you were like, oh, I know which one you're gonna
well, this isn't paparazzi, so I was like, you're not gonna say it, but I thought you were gonna say the Vanessa Hudgens Zac Efron like buying like sex toys.
What?
It was like a fan was like, oh, can I take like a photo with you, and they were in like a sex toy shop and they did it. Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Look this up.
Video. Oh yeah. What? And it's like really young Zac Efron. Yeah, too. That's so funny. Why'd they agree to it?
I love that they did. They were like
such
sure.
a fan. Like that's hilarious. Adult section. I love the video of them on the red carpet, probably at like one of the movie premieres, and they're all doing that jump.
Oh,
you know, the High School Musical jump. Well, you wouldn't know because you're not a fan.
I've seen it.
They do that jump, but Vanessa Hudgens does this like, it's such a pick me moment that it's like, I love it. Like she falls, she's like, and like she's not falling. She did not need to fall, but she falls. She's like, and like falls, and then of course like the boys like help her. You know? But it's like so cringe. It's so funny.
Love watching the COVID video of her where she's like, I mean, like I get that it's a virus and I respect it, and like sure some people are gonna die, but like. It's kind of inevitable. It's like, girl, why did you post that at all? Like, you just didn't have to share that at all. Mother of two.
She's really good in TikTok.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
So I also I sometimes go through phases where I'll watch, like, old, like, Paris Hilton and, like, Kim Kardashian paparazzi videos.
Nude selfies for life. That's not a paparazzi one, but I love it. No,
but like the old like paparazzi videos where like Kim is kind of following her around.
Yes,
and, like,
that's fun.
And there's one where Paris, because this is so me. This would be so me. Mm-hmm. She gets in the car after shopping, and she literally pulls out. She's in like a parking garage, and all the paparazzi are behind her, and she literally hits a car and then just keeps driving. It's so
I love that.
It's amazing.
I'm gonna look up some paparazzi videos.
It's so fun to watch.
It really is. And the thing is, I think about it all the time where it's like, you know, people like write into Dumois and they'll be like, oh, so and so is really rude, and I'm like, damn, people would say some shit about me because like you catch me on a bad day.
I know.
Like I was at Kava, I was like, I would like some rice. Earlier today.
I've had some nasty interactions at Kava. Not like I wouldn't want to, but it's like it's fucking mean to me.
Oh, really?
I had one. Do you remember it? I said I've had some. I've had one, but it was horrible.
I think I remember.
It was after trivia one night. I was like, it was bad. It was really bad. Sorry to the. Sorry, I love Kava. But it was this one employee who was such a bitch to me.
And I never try to be mean to the employees, but sometimes it's just like you walk in and you're just like in a bad mood, and you're like, I'm sure I'm not coming across like lovely, and I'm sorry.
I'm always not. I wasn't even in a bad mood. She was mean first, so I matched her energy. Anyway, also just thought of another one.
Okay,
sorry, I love talking about paparazzi. No. This is the most iconic one.
Okay,
when Lindsay gets in the car with Paris and I think it's Brittany.
Oh yeah.
When she's like so Lindsay there was like rumor, the video is crazy. Like the photos are interesting, but the video is even crazier because she literally just inserts herself. Like she wasn't invited.
Yeah.
They're like going off. She gets in the car, and Paris Hilton later said, I think on like Watch What Happens Live, she's like, yeah, I just didn't want to embarrass her.
Yeah,
that's and like kick her out.
Yeah,
but she's like really like zooted or whatever.
Yeah.
And she like gets in the car with them.
Like Uber for Lindsay?
Yeah, and she's like, Paris, tell them I didn't punch you or something. Or no, Paris says, Lindsay, tell them that I didn't hit you. And she's like, Paris would never hit me, and like gets in the car with them. That time,
what a
period
crazy.
That era was wild.
Once this book comes out on paperback, Girl on Girl, I'll be reading that.
What's that?
Basically this it kind of like analyzes like early 2000s like pop culture and how like we kind of like pinned women against each other and stuff. And it shout out friend of the pod Liz read it I think like last year, and she said it was great.
Wow, I want to read it. Lindsay Lohan and Hilary Duff had a huge
rivalry. I was listening to another podcast where they were like kind of doing a deep dive of that, and I love that it was I think it was the Cadet Kelly premiere where Lindsay showed up, and then it was the Freaky Friday premiere, Hillary showed up. Or vice versa. Happened the opposite way.
Right. Weren't they wearing the same outfit or something? Or what am I thinking of?
I don't know, but neither were invited.
Oh, that's
why
funny.
it was like awkward, yeah.
So I used to be obviously Team Hillary because I was the biggest Hillary Duff fan. But
I didn't know they had a feud at the time. I was like, wow, I'm so glad she's at the premiere.
I think it was to do, I don't know what it was to do. I feel like Aaron Carter might have had something to do with it.
I think so, because they were dating and he, I think, cheated on her with Lindsay or something.
Wow.
I think. Don't quote me on that.
When Hillary, I just learned this, when she was 17, she was dating,
yeah.
What's his face? He was like 24. Joel
Madden?
Yeah. Joel Madden. And he was like 24 or 26.
Yeah, and they've been dating for a while, like 2 years before that. And they like finally announced it when she was 18.
I didn't know she was 17 when that album came out. Like when, I thought she was like in her 20s at that point. It's so crazy how people seem way older when you're younger.
Yeah.
Like I had no idea she was only 17.
Well, I was telling someone the other day, I always go for walks on like the local college campus around here. And I always think like, yeah, I blend in. And then sometimes I'm like, I look in like at my reflection in the window and I'm like, they know I'm not one of them. They're like, oh, this is a person who works in admin probably, not a fellow student.
Hello, fellow youths.
Yeah. But anyways, well, that's all we have for you guys today. We hope you had fun for this special second episode of the week.
I liked that ending. I love talking about like Y2K, pop culture.
It really impacted us.
Paparazzi videos.
I love that we're dissecting it now.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's rough. But anyways, as always, please share this with your fellow Y2K survivors, and follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Poppin' In Podcast, and always reach out. Let us know your thoughts, what you think about what we've said tonight, if you agree or disagree. No hate comments, please. We're only here for good times. I mean, I guess you can say what you want, but we're soft girls.
Yeah, actually, only please be nice to us.
Yeah. But anyways, we'll see you next time. Bye.